How do you separate fact from fiction with Tom Brady?
That's a great question. Tom does a great job, right, of concealing what his true intentions are, man. He just lets everybody out there kind of twist around and throw out all these different theories. And teams come and go as far as who's going to be the team that's going to land him, who's not going to be the team that lands him. He's going to go back to New England. He's not going to go back to New England. Yeah, it's a mystery right now. But there's one thing I do know, Dan, and that is the people who I know who would have some insight as to just what really means something to this guy really does believe that this is not about money. This is really about respect. It's about making sure that he has the things around him and people understand what he needs to have around him at this point in order for him to really play at his highest level. And I think that ultimately is going to be where he winds up going. There's no way Tom's going to go to some place that's in the midst of rebuilding something and doesn't have the weapons. He's never going to go through a season like he went through last year again, where you saw him game after game look about as frustrated and as exasperated as you've ever seen him look. He's never going to go through that again.
If you ran the Patriots, or let's say you're Bill Belichick since he's the GM as well, like what are you planning on doing? What is plan A and what's plan B?
Yeah, I think, honestly, the best thing for the Patriots and the best thing for Tom is for those guys to really reunite if they both want to continue to win in a way that they're used to winning. So if I'm Bill, I think I'm probably taking the approach of being maybe more aggressive and more forthright in terms of getting the kinds of players to come to New England that would help Tom the best, particularly on offense, without messing up anything else that they're trying to do overall from an overall team concept. Because, Bill's all about the team, and he's never going to sacrifice what's best for the team, at the expense of trying to just get one or two players. But I would probably step outside of my comfort zone and say, hey, look, we're going to do everything we can, and we're going to be upfront about it as far as recruiting some players that could come in here, particularly on offense, and help you, namely some weapons on the perimeter, which is something that all of us could see last year. They just didn't have. They tried with Mohamed Sanu, but Mohamed Sanu was never going to be that guy. They tried with Antonio Brown. You knew you couldn't count on him. It was only a matter of time. And, it's one of those things that they need to be able to get someone out there to really help him, and they need to assure him that they're going to do everything they can to do that. They need a presence in the middle of the field, something to replace Gronk, although it's never going to be like Gronk. They need that position. That position has been vital to Tom's career. And they need to make sure that they do everything they can to do that. So if I'm Bill, I'm saying, look, this is what our plan would be in order to try and make sure that we never have a repeat of what happened last year. Because really, for Tom to start over somewhere else, I mean, I guess it's possible. But the Patriot way is so ingrained in him, and he has helped develop the Patriot way so much to a point where I'm just wondering what he thinks it'll be like somewhere else and whether or not he can go ahead and make another organization kind of operate the way that he's used to, because the way he's used to operating has made him the greatest winner of all time. And that would be a tremendous shock to me. I mean, I'm never going to say I can think for Tom Brady, but that'd be a tremendous shock to me and a tremendous risk for me to take.
But, okay, so let's say Brady goes elsewhere. Mm-hmm. Are you drafting or are you bringing in a free agent?
I'm bringing in better. I'm bringing in somebody who I'm probably doing a little bit of both, okay? I would be trying to make sure I could bring in somebody with a tremendously high IQ that can get on the same page with Tom quick in a very short amount of time, given that who knows what's going to happen with this new CBA and how much more practice time is going to be taken away from coaches and players, which is something that people are kind of forgetting. Now, look, some of these great quarterbacks get ticked off during the season when their guys aren't in the right places and not able to gel with them. Well, how do you think that happens? That happens because they practice. Football's the only game you get better at if you practice. So you better have the right profile of player, whether it's the draft or a veteran, and someone who can operate, again, at his level intellectually or close to it very quickly. So I think it's not just about height, weight, speed. It's about the right kinds of players that have that same kind of over-the-top commitment to the game that Tom has. I mean, there's so many things that go into it and so much risk involved for him to go somewhere else. I mean, this really is, in my view.